Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hi, welcome to the first episode of How to Get into a Pose. I started with forward fold because it's a famous pose. It's a pose that a lot of people think they can do. It's the pose that when you mention the word yoga, people go like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. I can touch my toes," and then you see just some very strange ways of actually coming into this pose, which are completely beyond what is the goal of forward folds, also known as Uttanasana. I'm going to show you what I see in my teaching, and then I'm going to show you how I feel you can come into this pose in such a way that you can actually grow your practice through it, that you're not wasting your time here, that you're not hurting your body, but that you can actually work with this in a responsible way. So what I see in my teaching is often that people start from the position of straight legs, because that's what they see other people do. And then from the straight legs, they're going to fold forward. And then very quickly, the hamstrings are beginning to protest because they get stretched as you fold forward. What happens then is people still want to reach forward, but they're having trouble with that because of the hamstrings. Now the hamstrings are attached here to the hip section. So what the body does, it compensates and it tilts the hips forward so that the hamstrings get a bit more space. But the effect is that you round the back as you tilt the hips forward. And then it's very hard to still reach the ground. Plus there is not a nice feeling in the back because it's rounded and it's tense here. And this is not a good way to come into the pose. And I do see people do this a lot, and I see them work to come down, and that's the wrong work. It's such a shame. So I'm coming up again, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You can do it with me if you want, or watch the video again and do it after you've seen me do it first. So the first thing we do to come into Uttanasana, forward fold, is bend the knees. Because as you bend the knees, you also give some extra space here to the hamstrings, but not from the hip section, but you do it from the knee section because the hamstrings are attached here to the lower bones as well. So from this position, you then begin to fold forward very easily. And as you notice with the bent knees, it's not hard. And you can just fold and let the whole upper body roll down and let the chest rest on the upper legs. And it's actually nice. So you can enjoy that feeling for a little bit. And you notice how my hands are already on the floor here. You can use a block as well. And from here, you do two things. First of all, you activate the legs. So you lift all the toes, press the balls of the feet into the ground, lift the inner arches. And then you feel action going up into the legs. You feel the quads engaging here. This helps the hamstrings to relax. Because from here on, the next thing you do is you inhale and you find length. And your spine is already nice and straight because you're sort of draped over the legs. Finding length. And then on the exhale, again, you keep the chest close to the legs as you begin to gently straighten the legs. And this is where the hamstrings are being stretched without the hips tilting forward. They're staying where they are because you keep the chest close to the body. And you keep repeating that rhythm of the breath. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling. And as you exhale and you surrender, lengthening, you feel a wonderful lengthening stretch here in the lower back. And you feel maybe a bit of a stronger stretch here in the hamstrings, but it's a good stretch. It's a stretch that's helpful. And because the legs are engaged at the front, it helps the hamstrings to relax a little bit here as well. So that's why it's important to keep the to keep the front thighs engaged so that the hamstrings can relax. And as you can see, I can do this now with straight legs. I have practiced for years and years. You may find that as you bend your legs, that on the first time that you do this exercise, you may only get this far, and that's absolutely fine. Yoga is a lifelong practice. You're not supposed to master poses quickly. That's not the goal of yoga. The goal of yoga is actually to still the fluttering of the mind. It's supposed to be a moving meditation. So focus on the breath. Inhale deep and full, finding length. Exhale, bring a quality of surrender to the whole body, to your breath, and then slowly make them into it. Now, from here, bring the arms out wide, come all the way up, and exhale fully. There we are. I hope you have lots of fun with Uttanasana, forward fold.
Shanti, Shanti.